most people don't understand mortgages, and that's exactly why social media works so well for loan officers. Because right now, your potential clients are confused. They're hearing mixed messages about interest rates, they're unsure if they can even afford to buy, and they're spending hours online trying to figure it all out before they ever speak to someone. And in that process, they're not just looking for information, they're looking for someone who can explain things in a way that actually makes sense. And that's where you come in. Hey, I'm Connie, the social media coordinator here at Zendemol, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how loan officers and mortgage brokers can use social media to turn that confusion into trust, and that trust into real inquiries. We're going to break down why social media is such a powerful tool in your industry, a step-by-step strategy you can follow, and the exact types of content that actually generates leads, not just likes. And if you want help putting all of this into action, we've got a free content calendar for loan officers and a mortgage social media AI assistant linked in the description to help you plan and create your content without overthinking it. And by the end of this video, you'll have a clear, realistic social media strategy. So first things first, let's talk about why social media actually matters so much for loan officers right now. Because it's not just about being visible online anymore, it's about being understood. The reality is most people don't fully understand how mortgages work. They've picked up bits of information from friends, social media, news headlines, maybe a quick Google search, but it's all a little bit fragmented. So now they're thinking about buying their first home, and there's usually this mix of excitement and confusion at the same time. Now, a lot of people don't start asking questions straight away. A lot of them start researching, which means they're quietly consuming content, comparing options, and trying to make sense of things on their own first. So if you're not showing up online, you're not really a part of their decision-making process, even if you're amazing at what you do. This is why social media is so powerful for loan officers, because it's often the first place people see you, and not just in a salesy way, more in a, oh, this person actually explained things in a way I understand kind of way. The truth is, people don't just choose based on rates or numbers, they choose based on trust, especially when it comes to a big decision like this. And that trust is built way before the first conversation ever even happens. Now, before we jump into ideas, I want to quickly reframe how we think about content, because this is usually where people get stuck or overcomplicate things. Content is not about being endlessly creative or coming up with brand new ideas every single time you post. It's really just about answering the questions people already have in their head but haven't asked out loud yet. So instead of thinking, oh, what should I post today? It helps to change something. Like, what is my audience confused about right now? How can I make that easier for them to understand? And really, that's just the core of it, because your audience is already thinking things like, can I afford this? What do I actually qualify for? What does the process look like? And am I missing something important here? Now, if your content answers those questions in a clear and reassuring way, you're doing exactly what social media is supposed to do. And remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being helpful. Now let's get into the practical side of things, the actual content ideas you can start using. These are less about going viral and more about building trust, clarity, and eventually inquiries for people who are already warming up to the idea of buying. Myth-busting content. This is one of the easiest and most effective types of content because there are so many misconceptions around mortgages. Things like needing a huge deposit, needing perfect credit, or thinking you can't buy if you've got existing debt. When you calmly break down those and explain what's actually true for different situations, you instantly become more helpful than what most of people see on social media. And that builds trust really quickly. Okay, in the live content. This one is all about making you feel more real and more approachable. People don't just choose loan officers based on knowledge, they choose people they feel comfortable with. So showing what your day-to-day actually looks like, whether that's speaking with clients, dealing with lenders, reviewing applications, or managing that process behind the scenes, showing them behind the scenes is going to help remove that sense of mystery around what you actually do. Local market updates. Most people don't really understand what's happening in their local property market, they just feel the effects of it. So when you simplify it, like what prices are doing, how quickly homes are selling, or what demand looks like right now, you become the person who helps them make sense of what's going on around them. Client journey stories. Now this is different from a testimonial. Instead of just saying, happy client, great experience, you walk them through the entire journey, where they started, what they were worried about, what challenges came up, and how you supported them through it all. Because when someone watching sees their own situation in that story, it stops feeling abstract and starts feeling possible for them. Rate explanation content. Rates on their own can feel really overwhelming to most people. What they actually want to know is what it means for them. So instead of just sharing numbers, translate it into real life impact. monthly payments, differences based on deposit size, or what changing rates actually means in practice. First-time buyer guidance. First-time buyers often don't even know where to start, so content that simply walks them through the basics can be incredibly valuable. Things like what to check first, how to get prepared, what affects affordability, or what steps they should do before applying. Behind-the-scenes content. Now, this is all about showing what actually happens during the mortgage process, because most people have no visibility of it at all. Things like document checks, communication with lenders, approvals, or explaining why certain steps take time. It makes the whole thing feel a lot less intimidating. Ask me anything content. Now, this is one of the simplest but most effective formats. You can just invite people to ask questions and then answer them in content. It makes you feel approachable, but it also gives you a constant stream of real topics that your audience actually cares about. Loan program explanations. A lot of people don't know what options are available to them, so explaining things like different loan types or assistant programs can be a real eye-opener. It also positions you as someone who understands the full landscape, not just the basics. Lifestyle and long-term content. Not everything needs to be purely educational. Content around home ownership, long-term planning, or what stability looks like can help people connect emotionally with the idea of buying. So if we step back for a second, the main takeaway here is that you don't need to overcomplicate any of this. You don't need to post everything all at once, and you definitely don't need to reinvent your content every single week. What actually works is consistency, clarity, and repetitions of the things that your audience actually already cares about. So now you've got your content ideas, it's time to start planning ahead. The mistake a lot of loan officers make is waiting until the last minute to post, and that's exactly what leads to inconsistency, overthinking, and eventually just not posting at all. But with the content ideas we've provided, you'll notice that these aren't just one-off ideas. Each of them can be turned into multiple pieces of content. For example, myth busting alone could give you weeks of posts, or first-time buyer posts could be a series. So now, instead of thinking in terms of individual posts, it helps to think about them in content pillars. These are 3 to 5 core themes you'll use to shape your content. From there, you can batch create your content, spend a few hours or the entire day mapping out your content for the next 4 weeks, and then work on creating multiple pieces of content in one go. That way, you're already in the mindset, you already know your topics, and you're not constantly starting from scratch. It helps you stay consistent, so rather than scrambling for ideas every single week, you're creating a workflow that supports you and makes your social media feel manageable long term. Now, if you stick to a simple mix of these content types and keep showing up in a way that's helpful and easy to understand, you naturally start becoming the person people trust before they even reach out, and that's really the goal. And there you have it. Social media for loan officers and mortgages doesn't have to be overly complicated. If someone watches your content and just feels more confident, more informed, or just a little bit more reassured than they did before, that's already a win. And over time, that's what turns into real conversations and real clients. Now, if you want help putting this all into practice, then you can download our free loan officer content calendar and mortgage social media AI assistant, both linked in the description. They're there to help you stay consistent and take the pressure off coming up with new ideas every week. And if this video helped you, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what you want to see me cover next. I'll see you in the next video.